How would you summarize, Grace, your perception of America after you visited America? Like, what would you say? Like, has your perception changed, or has it like been modified?
That's definitely a good question.
I definitely agree with what was said earlier that I've definitely seen a lot of movies, but for some reason I cannot remember any title or specific movie. But I've definitely seen a lot about like bullying and all that. So I definitely thought that I was gonna be bullied when I go to, of all places, New York. I never told you this, but actually, you guys, when I attended an orientation, so international students arrive first on campus, get to tour around before the American students, the freshmen at least. And so, and they finally came on campus. There was this one big proper orientation for everyone. Everyone that's studying communication that year got called in this hall. And we talked there. And then when they were asking us to introduce ourselves, I mentioned that it's my first time ever like in the United States. And I got sent to New York because it was not my choice. It was the choice of the US government. They thought it was a good fit for me for some reason. And one of the students, this American dude, just goes, out of all places, you choose New York. Good luck. So when he said that, I was really like terrified. Like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. What I see in the movie is gonna happen to me. And but after that, I found out that it's just a matter of really picking the right company. Because even in the Philippines, like there will be people who will bully me probably if I choose to stick with them when I clearly know they're not a good fit for my personality and all that. So after I left the United States, I thought I wanted to go back. I definitely did not have the thought that most um, exchange students have of staying there, like working there, just like staying there forever. I never had that thought. For me, it was more like, huh, good to know. Good to know that there are good people overseas that will be welcoming to you, and that those perceptions that I had before that I'm never gonna make friends there and good connections, they were pretty much debunked. What I liked the most was the type of culture that was just so warm, I think, and informal. Because in the Philippines, like we're a big fan of ceremonies. Even now during the COVID-19, you'll see a bunch of like
Hmm.
public events to make things official and whatnot. So there's none of that. Not. I didn't see that much when I
There's
was
no
there, and I
gathering
really
of people. There's never like that kind of stuff.
yeah. Like, you know what? If we're gonna help people, like, let's help people. In the Philippines, you know what? Before we help people, let's have a ceremony,
Oh,
ribbon cutting, have all the partners from these agencies, and then let's do it.
That's
So that's what I really liked about it. And you see that as well in the educational system. Like, here, I would be terrified to talk to my professor, but there, you guys have office hours where you can just talk to your professor
oh
whenever.
yeah.
So I would say a lot of the things that I think some students take for granted there, I definitely enjoyed. Like there was this guy that my roommate was friends with. They're both American, and they just said, "Grace, where have you been all night?" And I said, "Oh, I just did some homework and some stuff in the library." And the guy goes, "It's a library?" And I said, "Yeah, it's right there. You should check it out."
There's a library. That's what.
Yeah.
Well, you actually brought up an interesting point that I'm curious about. You said you definitely would visit again, but you wouldn't think so
Mm,
much about staying here for work. And
yeah.
I'm curious about
Yeah.
why that's the case specifically.
Uh,
Like, why
that's a
only
great
a visit?
question.
You know?
Yeah. Well, for me, the
Oh yeah,
fact that
this is really
honestly, the fact that I have seen, the fact that I have seen how ahead the United States is, and you can call me ambitious, I don't really care. But for me, like the fact that I have seen how far ahead the United States is, and how far behind the Philippines is, despite having
mm,
so many hardworking people, so many good people, made me realize that I'm not gonna be able to become part of any change. I'm not gonna contribute to the Philippines in my own small or big way if I will not bring what I learned to advance what's here. So
mhm.
that was like a simple equation for me. Like if I'm gonna contribute to brain drain when clearly I have opportunities here, I think it's fine to go to the States for work and all that. If you have better opportunities there, you have to do what's right by your family, right? You have to do what's right by yourself. if you have opportunities here that you can unlock, why not do it? Especially if it's to serve people from your own home. I think there's such a great need for that right now.
So what are you doing to work on those issues in the Philippines?
Yeah, that's awesome. So I actually am working heavily on education. So because I work
It's a big one.
for a foreign embassy in education in higher education. And actually on Monday we're gonna have this like event between um, diplomats from both sides. Just to recap some of our achievements. So I was really glad because the past weeks I've been so busy, but I've been working on tracking the results. For example, there was this university partnership that I worked on. And because of that, the Philippine University in the Philippines was able to produce their own alcohol because the supplies dwindled during COVID 19. So for me, that's a small thing that I can do compared to the big things other people are doing. But the fact that there was an opportunity to help out and I was able to take it, I think that's such a blessing, really. So that's one of many. But overall, I think I was able to forge around 60 partnerships. So that's a lot of students that were able to study in the States. Right now, they're doing virtual exchanges. So I'm really happy about those stuff.